Today I'm going to be discussing the face negotiation theory. It's a Stella Ting to me. Some of the definitions are face, which is the projected image of oneself in a relational situation. It helps explain cultural differences and responses to conflict. Another definition is face work. It's the specific verbal and nonverbal messages that help to maintain and restore face laws, and to uphold and honor face game. Face negotiation theory postulates that the framework of people from the individualistic cultures like the United States or Germany will be strictly different from the face work of people from collectivist cultures like Japan or China. Collectivist and individualist cultures. Ting Toomey bases her face negotiation theory on the distinction between collectivism and individualism. She says that the three important distinctions between collectivist and individualist cultures are the different ways members perceive self, goals, and duty. Collectivist culture is defined as when people identify with a large group that is responsible for providing care in exchange for group loyalty. We identify a high context culture. However, where individualist culture is defined as wherein people look out for themselves and their immediate families, it's I identity instead of we identity, and a low context culture instead of a high context culture. That's the two differences in those two. A couple of cool facts is that more than 2/3 of the world's people are born into collectivist cultures, while less than 1/3 of the population lives in individualistic cultures. We identify these. Japan is quite foreign to the I identify of the American, who values individualistic needs and goals over group needs and goals. The American's behavior is governed by the personal rules of a freewheeling self that is concerned with individualistic rights rather than group responsibilities. Self-constructual, varied self-images within a culture. Self-constructual is defined as self-image, the degree to which people conceive of themselves as relatively anonymous from or connected to others. Just as cultures vary along a scale anchored by individualistic or collectivist orientations, so too do their members. Culture is an overall framework for face concern, but individuals within a culture have different images of self as well as varied views of the degree to which they give others face or restore their own face to conflict situations. The multiple faces to face. Face concern is described as regard for self-face, others' face, or mutual face. Face is an extension of self-concept, a vulnerable identity-based resource. Face restoration, the self-concerned face work strategy used to preserve autonomy and defend against loss of personal freedom. Self-concerned face restoration is the framework strategy used to take out a unique place in life, preserve autonomy, and defend against loss of personal freedom. Face giving is defined as the other concerned face work strategy used to defend and support another person's need for inclusion. A fun fact is people raised in individualistic culture are normally more concerned with face self than they are with other face. Predictable styles of conflict management. Ting Toomey initially identified 5 distinct responses to situations where they in an incompatibility of needs, interests, or goals. The 5 styles are avoiding, known as withdrawing, obliging, as known as giving in, compromising, known as negotiating, dominating is known as competing, and integrating, known as problem solving. There are also 3 additional styles identified as styles of conflict management that American individualistic-based scholarships have missed. These styles are emotional expression, passive-aggressive, and third-party help. Complicating factors: power, distance, and perceived threats. Power distance is described as the way a culture deals with status differences in social hierarchies, the degree to which low-power members accept unequal power as natural. Power distance refers to the way a culture deals with status difference in social hierarchies. Application: competent intercultural face work. Mindfulness is described as recognizing that things are not always what they seem, and therefore seeking multiple perspectives in conflict situations. Ting Toomey believes that cultural knowledge, mindfulness, and face work interaction skills are the 3 requirements for effectively communicating across cultures. And last but not least is critique, passing the test with a good grade. Most Cross-cultural researchers all analyze different cultures from a highly interpretive perspective. They are committed to an objective social science research agenda that looks for measurable commonalities across cultures. They then lead the transcultural similarities, individualism, or collectivism to subsequent behavioral outcomes. In this case, response to others in conflict situations. I hope you learned something today. I hope this chapter was very well described to you, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks.